Hey there, and welcome to my video about this Nokia N-Gage QD Cingular kiosk. A little bit I know about its history in general and about this particular kiosk, as well as some other little bits and pieces. This is going to be mostly off the cuff, not a lot of editing, but I hope you enjoy nonetheless. So I picked up this unit a few days ago, and I'm very happy with my purchase. It was picked up from a place in Gloucester called Gloucester Games and Collectibles. I had a wonderful time there. They've always got a really large selection of cool stuff, and I picked up a few N-Gage things from there before. But I have seen that they were advertising this on eBay for a little while, but on Facebook Marketplace for about half a year they've been advertising this unit. This particular unit doesn't actually have any built-in lights. You may be asking yourself, well, why is it quite clearly got lights in? Basically, these are just little LEDs that I've attached to it. They're only held on with Kapton tape. They're not permanent or anything, and they just turn off when need be. Okay, now that we have the lights on in the space, I want to show you some of the cool things about this unit on the front and what you can see. So along the top here, there's a space for a flyer for flyers, so you can advertise like your phone service plans or the device itself. I'm just going to put something that I printed out myself in there for action because I thought it was pretty cool. And you've got yourself your N-Gage logo at the back there, and then the action stars here, as well as some signs and stuff. So a sign over there and a sign over there, as well as on the bottom here the Cingular sticker down there. I believe that originally this unit was supposed to have a gem, like a clear plastic gem covering this. Sadly, that is missing on this unit, and so I decided that I would stick a plastic covering over it just to protect it a little bit. While researching this particular unit, I discovered a website which has the sort of original concept for Cingular by a gentleman called Ryan Paul. You can see this sort of 3D render here is pretty much what I have. And looking at this, you can see that the original unit was designed with the original N-Gage in mind. So that's the NEM4, which is one of these here. As you can see, it's quite a bit bigger than the N-Gage QD, which means that this section here, which holds onto the phone, would need to be changed. So from reading, I discovered that when these units were given out, initially they were given out to retailers with an original N-Gage and an N-Gage housing, but a lot of them were retrofitted later with the revised QD cradle, because that was the new model they were pushing in 2004, so obviously they wanted to kind of cheaply reuse a lot of the original branding, and that was used. So this is why you see in the 3D render an original N-Gage, and this one here has the newer N-Gage QD. We'll get into the specifics behind the N-Gage itself in a moment, but what I want to do is I want to spin this round and show you the back section. So getting into this unit is fairly straightforward. On the back there is two thumb screws, which are easily removed. And you'll be safe knowing that the back won't just suddenly fall off when you remove the screws, as it is also magnetic. So what you do is you grab from here, pull backwards, and then lift straight up, and that reveals the rear of the unit. Now, the LED modification that I did to this is non-permanent, as I said. It's just held on with Kapton tape. You can see that here, and then on the other side as well. The interesting thing to note about this particular unit, because it doesn't require any other power, it is literally just a standard Nokia N-Gage charging unit in here. So if I pull this out, so this is the extension plug, which runs from the back of this unit. That's the extension there. Runs from the back of the unit to your mains, and then this here's just your standard Nokia N-Gage plug. This unit is American. I got really lucky when I opened this up and I checked this. This is actually a switching power supply. It can operate on 110 volts or 220 volts, so I'm running this with just an adapter. I didn't need to buy a converter or anything. So that's plugged straight in there. It's held in with a little bit of Velcro and a zip tie, and then it's all coiled there, and then this cable just kind of goes through the back. But it's nice to know that this unit is just a standard Nokia charger with a power lead. So if I needed to change this for any reason, or if this decided to stop working, it would be very easy to get a replacement for it. So here you can see the connections holding in place the images and the stuff on the other side, which is pretty nifty. That stuff is removable. And then up here at the top, you can see that there is 2 bolts holding in place the N-Gage sign on the other side. And that's basically the rear of this unit in a nutshell. It's pretty cool. I'll show you this part here. This is really cool. This is the hinge, and then the flap for the hole for the flyers and stuff. But these are magnetic strips. It looks like they're just taped on magnetic strips, and they just make sure that the back stays in place while you're putting it back together again, which is wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around, and then we're going to have a closer look at the actual N-Gage itself. So just before we go into the device itself, I want to show you one last cool little feature. Along the bottom there's actually a earth cable here, which is your earth for the device, just in case something happens. And then you've got these movable suction cups to hold it in place on your countertop, which is pretty nifty. So the device itself is actually held in place quite securely. You've got 2 screws on the side holding the actual mounting section in place, and then underneath you can see that there's actually 2 additional screws, which are Torx security bits. So you need a specialised bit to get them open. So I'm going to go open that off camera, so you don't have to sit through me doing that. Okay, so once you have the 2 Torx pieces, this Torx security bits removed, it's fairly straightforward. This piece comes apart, so there's your top section. This part here is designed to protect the charging cable. And then this bottom section here comes off the bottom, and then the device is just free to come off and move around. Now with this unit, if you unplug it, it should just turn off automatically, as these are designed to turn off when there is no power, even if there is a battery installed. That's just the nature of this demo unit. Now on close inspection, you can see that there's not a lot between this unit here that came with the demo kiosk and a standard QD unit. They're nigh on identical, which is pretty cool. It means you can actually get a feel for it while you're demoing it in the store, which is really useful. The one thing that I will say is that this unit here is actually surprisingly in good condition, considering it was being demoed at the store. Now the interesting thing about this particular unit that came with the display is that I was met with a little bit of a surprise when I opened up the back. So most N-Gages are marked with a serial number or some kind of thing that attributes it to what kind of model it is. Like say for example, if it's a demo kiosk unit, it'll say demo sample or similar. If it's a retail unit, it'll just say the type of phone that it is. I was kind of surprised that when I opened up this one and discovered that it actually said Proto on the inside, which is pretty interesting. And I'm going to try to hold this as still as I can, because I want to censor out the serial number and the barcode and stuff, because that stuff might be sensitive, I don't know. But yeah, this unit that came with this display says Proto. Now, after reaching out to a few members of the community, apparently that some of the Chinese units, which this one is made in China, have some interesting sticker variations. This one in particular is technically a demo unit, but for some weird and odd reason they've used Proto on the back. If anyone knows any more about this, I would really like to know as much as I can about the difference between the different regions, different stickers, and also whether or not this is a genuine prototype unit or not. All I know is that if it is a prototype unit, that it definitely has the demo software flashed to it, meaning that it is basically just a demo unit. But either way, I'd really like to know precisely I'd really like to know as much as I can about it. And that wraps up my video on the Nokia N-Gage QD Cingular display kiosk, tabletop display kiosk. If you could let me know some information in the comments, that'd be fantastic. If you want to comment, feel free. You'll find that these rear pictures here have been scanned and put on the Internet Archive. You will find them at the links below. I've only been collecting N-Gage for a couple of years, but my collection is kind of grown somewhat. Let me know if you want me to do a run through of my collection. But until then, thanks for watching. This is Pocket signing out. Bye bye.